magnet pull, market breathing, structure still full. You ain't scalping crumbs today, you're trading the move you map. Okay. You size it right, you place that stop. This trading done just cause it chopped. No middle fiddling, no weekends. You said VWAP, that's the plan. Let's trade all the way back to VWAP. Way back, way back. Don't cut it short, don't fade the map. Hold that, hold that. From the bid zone, clean and strong. You didn't wait all day just to get out wrong. Let's trade all the way back to VWAP. Stay in. No fear, exits don't collapse. Trust the plan, yeah, trust that fact. Let's trade all the way back. Yeah, you survive the way, you survive the job. Don't sabotage it right at the pop. They sell too soon, then chase it higher. You stay composed, you let it fire. Let's trade all the way back to VWAP. Come on, bid zone, patience finally got paid back. No fear, hands, no regret, snap. You earned this move, now let it tap. Let's trade all the way back to VWAP. Clean execution, textbook map, bell to bell, stay on track. Let's trade all the way back. Yeah, bids on a VWAP. That's how pros hold. Don't fear the green. Let it pay you.
All right, what's going on, speculators? Let's fire up the Futures Fanatic live stream for the afternoon of March 25th, right? March 24th. March 24th, 2026. Hope you've all had a good trading session thus far. As I said in the title of this stream, if you've checked out the title, this market is a gift. I'm going to explain to you why it is a gift. I know some of the erratic price action from yesterday might not feel like that, but today we're trading inside that range, and it gives us a great opportunity to play range as well. Before I get started, I want to remind everybody that this presentation is going to be for educational purposes only, and that all trades presented should be considered hypothetical and should not be expected to be replicated in a live trading account. That's whether it's a simulated brokerage account or a live account that I have on the screen. Also, nothing is solicitation to buy or sell any security. So if you see any security on there, I'm not endorsing it or anything like that. And nothing that I say is financial advice. If you knew the difference between good advice and bad advice, you wouldn't need any anyway. All right. So the other thing I'm going to play around with today is I'm trying to get my stream game improved a little bit. I'm going to move from like this full camera right here where you see everything that's going on, right? And then I'll go over to the top middle where I'm going to leave so there's no distraction with me on camera there, and I can just sort of talk into the mic. So let me tell you what you're looking at here. What you're looking at is 1 ounce of gold. So not a gold future, just sort of the spot gold. And I'm long from 43.90s. So when you're long from 43.90s and it's up $14, you're just up $14. Now my goal for today, I normally don't have profit goals, but I'm going to look to try to get this up to 250. I think that's the minimum withdrawal. And then what I'm going to do live for you guys here today is I'm going to take a withdrawal from this account. My whole goal is to show you that the stuff that I talk about, which is just trading micros because those are properly sized for small accounts, you can eventually, if not now, put money into a live account. Next week I'll be talking more about plus 500. I was going to try to do it this week, but they weren't able to get all the compliance stuff put in place because I talk a bunch of nonsense and I'm probably highly non-compliant. Next week I won't be saying anything like that. Next week you vouch for the fact that I am the GOAT and I'm very compliant. No, I'm trying to solidify whatever offer they're going to be providing. I actually prefer deposit bonuses, but it looks like they don't do deposit bonuses. So instead it'll probably be a commission credit of some kind. And then I'll have all the details next week also about what I'm going to be doing with the referral fees that they pay me. Essentially, I'm going to try to give them back to you directly or indirectly. We'll talk more about that. All right. So also the details with this account, which I have shown, I think I've shown this before, this cash flow. So I originally deposited about $1,500 last year, did absolutely nothing for almost an entire year. because I was just doing other things and didn't have time, and also the platform just really was not where I needed it to be. They didn't even have VWAP or the bands or anything. Now they have all that. So I put another 2,500 in, brought it up to 5,000, and then you can see just from the 5th of February, I've really started to get going here. There's a pretty big withdrawal. There's a withdrawal yesterday that's already in my account. And again, if we can get up to 250 today, I'll do another withdrawal for you guys in real time so you can just see this. There's nothing fancy about this. Here's the closed positions. This is the TDG way, as you can see there. Okay, so if you are entertained by people that have much larger account sizes and do things that probably you wouldn't be able to do and are taking on all kinds of risk and only show the accounts that are profitable, and for all you statement trolls who want my statements, how about this? This is a lot better. This is real time. This is there. That's the balance. I'm not hiding from anything. Very small balance. You guys can all do this. 1 lots, as you can see, just 1 lots, an occasional 2 lots, micro crude, micro Dow, 1 ounces of gold, which I kind of dig this thing. This 1 ounce gold is, you can scale into 5 ounces or even, like I said, 10 ounces of gold, and you're still much smaller than you would be with a mini or micro contract on, of course. All right, and then also I'll be showing everybody how to set up this environment here, which is pretty simple. This is our stay in the lane strategy right here, and basically we offer liquidity out here, meaning we get short up in the offer zone or we take profits on longs. We buy down here in the bid zone or take profits on shorts. Rather than be concerning about when it's slanted or not, doesn't work, or you get killed on all that. We'll talk more about that. You're not going to. You understand when you should be doing this and when you shouldn't be doing this. Also, we have a volume profile here, which is what we would call our perfect Indian arrow, which is just great. All of the, you like to see when all of the volume's pointed right at the volume point of control, because that means that it's sort of a perfect distribution. Nice, what I call, again, the Indian arrow up there. All right. All right, let's go down back. Let's go back down to the main screen down here, and I am in nothing in the any of the prop programs or those kinds of things. I'm flat. I'm working in order, as you can see, to sell 46.730s. We have perfect flat lane here. Maybe we get lucky and we get a little bit of movement. The only thing I've been trading this afternoon is gold. It just did a perfect +2 touch up here. Here's the gold market. Excuse me, +1 touch right here. So this is where we get short according to the strategy right here. Okay, and then we take it right down to here. Anyone take this gold trade? Any members of my group that trade? And by the way, when I say gold, this is MGC. We're not trading the full gold contract. Anyone take that? Just, it's picture perfect. You could go from VWAP too, but if you're first learning these strategies, we only want to be looking to trade them as mean reversion strategies, not as VWAP as an entry all the way up to the +1s. But when you get more experience, you can do that. Also, if you are not a black belt in our Doji program, then don't trade the MGC at all, okay? I think one of the best things to happen to a lot of traders are apex traders that can't trade gold right now. So it's probably the best thing that's happened to a lot of traders, even with the gold volatility that we saw Monday night. We were down to, or Sunday night into Monday morning, gold was down to, what, 4,100? So a good $1,400 off of its recent high. And for those of you paying attention, that's $14,000 even with my 1 micro MGC. All right, so nice little trade that happened there. Real quick, let me see if there's anything coming in. Rod, you know what everyone is going to talk about, all the controversy with Take Profit Trader. I don't know if there's a lot of controversy. What Take Profit Trader is doing is putting a lot of people live pretty quickly. They don't want to take any more risk on any kind of sim accounts. And I believe that a lot of that people that were taken live were taken live if they showed that they were trading certain instruments legally the way they could. But if you were trading a lot of the micro gold contract or the gold contract, they took those metal traders live pretty quickly. I'm going to take your advice and trade like a small guy who was $700 away from a payout and blew it using minis. Yeah, Nathaniel, it's not only my advice, man. It's just math. You got to do it, everybody. You got to do it. Now, full disclosure, I'm doing something, well, a lot of this doesn't matter, but on some of the bigger end of day accounts at Apex now, which do have that maybe 22 days of trading. I was looking back at my stats, and I would probably have to size up to 6 to 8 micros to get through those in that period of time. And I didn't really want to do that because I thought it would be a little bit of a distraction. So instead, I'm just doing something totally different, which is taking advantage of the fact that they have a $2,000 soft loss limit. And I actually just full port 4 minis in either direction. So I either make $2,000 or lose $2,000, and I'm doing that. And it's an easy way to pass it. It's not what I would suggest people do. And most of you don't need the bigger accounts when you're starting out, but I'll talk a little bit more about that because there was a lot of concerns, more concerns about that than I thought. And my take on that is, if you're not familiar, there's a 1 monthly charge for a Apex account now, and it doesn't renew. So if you don't pass, it goes away, right? So if you get very close, your incentive is going to be to do what other people used to do before their subscription would renewal, which is just go real quick and either blow it up and buy another one. So my first take is, if you don't think you can pass even the smallest account in that period of time, then just choose another firm. But I am going to continue to test a little bit, figure out sizing, and then I will come up with some formulas that I think, I'll publish, I'll make them available here on the stream. Some sizing guidelines in addition to your daily risk budget that will tell you where you kind of need to size based on win rates and a few other things. So that you can confidently know that you can move through those programs trading the same way that you would trade the PA. All that being said, I'm not doing that on some of my more recent 150s. I'm just going make $2,000 or lose $2,000, and that way, with about a 60% win rate, I should be able to get through it in probably about 10 days if I take a trade like that every single day. Okay. Just as we started to stream, the excitement died down. It's gone through some lulls today, so there hasn't been a whole lot of interesting things going on. Wanted to show this that I'll be doing some more videos on. This is TradeC using Lucid. These are just evaluations. These are tests. I don't plan on activating any live accounts over at Lucid. I had some just to test, took a payout. That's kind of what I do. But I like to keep a couple accounts with all firms, especially when I'm trying new platforms. And I really like this platform. Also, I'm continuing on with my wealth charts. I activated one of these accounts and then canceled all the others because the subscription was going to happen today. And that's basically where I'm at. The account at the top is a PA, and all these other accounts will be canceled today. I'm just going to keep a couple accounts on wealth charts as I continue to work with this platform as well. I know there's a lot of platforms that do this, but I kind of liked it. When I clicked on economic calendar, I thought I could put an economic calendar here in the on the dashboard, but it just opens up this. It's us.econoday.com. You guys ever seen this? That's the URL. I didn't know this one. I kind of like the look. I have Financial Juice. I know there's plenty of different resources, but I was kind of looking at this and I thought, oh, I like this. I like this. This is it's pretty cool. So this is if you're interested in this, it's right here. I don't know if you have to pay for it. If you have a wealth charts, you don't, because it's included. So it's right there. All right, let me see. A couple questions coming in here. All the people being accused of using bots is what I'm talking about. Oh, see, Riley and others, I've been saying this for a while. There are plenty of other content providers out there on YouTube, and all of you guys that are probably way more dialed into all of the gossip, hearsay, or reality, or whatever's going on, whatever's circling out in the interwebs about all these prop programs. I can't keep track of all them, the controversies that they're going through. I saw some content that seemed to be pretty reliable that showed that the monthly payouts from Top Step have been cut by like 45% every month over. So in other words, they paid out like 150 to 170 million in November and December each month, maybe almost 200 million in December. By the way, that's paying out $200 million which for Top Step is just insanity. It's all, again, you can say whatever you'd like about Apex, still one of my favorite firms. You owe everything you have in this industry to the fact that Apex created this environment in which, to be competitive, Top Step had to do that. So they paid out $200 million in December. This is from pretty reliable data sources. And in February, it was down to like 30 million. So down 70 or 80%. And you know why. They went through a lot of these things too, where they just could not react fast enough. They had to turn off all the metals. They had to throw people live faster than they wanted to. But my understanding is that was real money paid out. So again, just think of the math associated with these programs, how much they're bringing in. I've said forever, all they are is insurance companies. And what you need to do is figure out how to be the person that can take claims from the insurance company instead of all the schmucks that pay their premiums and never can take a claim, right? Because if Top Step was paying out $200 million in claims, you just need to be on that side of the ledger. Just don't be on the other side of the ledger. So Nathaniel in here said that he's going to follow my advice, but just follow math. Just trade micros, stay small, and to the point Riley's making about bots or anything else, just don't get involved in any of this. We have great markets now. You have 25 firms to choose from. If I can get to $250 today, I'll show you how you can create your own prop program. Just get $5,000 or $10,000. Now, are you going to be able to quit your job on your own $5,000 or $10,000 account? No, but you can pay your mortgage, and I mean that. Okay, growing an account like that by 10%, 15% per month with a 5% daily risk budget, or maybe 10% daily risk budget, it's child's play. Okay, especially with the markets the way they are right now. All right, let me just go through what I see over here. Let me go back to the chart so you guys can see the chart here in case anything happens. Hey Rod, I've been a TDG member for a while, took it slow and easy, just passed my first eval today. I'm surprised I wasn't even excited, just said it's about time. All right, way to go, Jeremy. Yeah, you've been at it for a while. Look, everyone's mileage is going to vary, but what we try to do in our community is have other community members share. Like, we were going to do a Trader Talk Tuesday today. Unfortunately, we didn't. Share their story, share their journey, and I'm telling you, if you stick with it, I couldn't have told you this 6 or 7 years ago. I had trading education businesses for 10, 15 years. We had one, I'm not very proud of it, got up to maybe 10, 15 million in sales. I would love to tell you that we had students that were having a lot of success with all the money that we were getting paid to educate them. Now, we were doing the same things and we're teaching the same things, but there was no prop programs. Everyone was trading their own live capital. There was only minis. There was no micros. Everyone was over leveraged. Again, I talk about the benefit of micros is not only that they're properly sized, but that you can trade like a professional trader. Scale in, scale out. Put out little scout orders, a couple micros here, one micro there, another level here. Don't worry about that's DCA and firms don't stop with all that, okay? Trade responsibly, manage your P&L, the way you enter orders. Now, if you do that with a mini, though, you will blow up and you probably get flagged in certain situations. Buy one, buy another one, buy another one. Now you're massively over leveraged. Anyway, Jeremy, congratulations. That's great to hear. Stick with the process. But to finish my thought, 7 or 8 years ago, before the micros came out in May of 2019, okay, at the time I was educating with a firm called T3 Trading, and I knew that I could make a difference now with those products. I'm like, oh, this is what we need. And flash forward 6, 7 years later, it's the best time ever to learn how to do this, okay, because you can use leverage across accounts. These are the sound bites that I say every single day in this stream. Okay. Sorry to everyone who used Prop Shop. Nothing's changed at Prop Shop since the last change at Prop Shop, which was a big change. Hey Rod, how do you manage and trade on so many platforms at once? I've just been doing this for so long. I mean, it's second nature to me. But the real answer when it comes to what I'm showing you on this screen, and the only thing, so I have a laptop over here this way. Who cares? I have a laptop over here. It's actually off screen. You can't even see it if I go full camera, I don't think. No, you can't. So it's over there. Okay? So I have a laptop over there. I just turn around and I go over to that, and that is generally where my real focus is, and I have some size and stuff going on over there, okay, mostly in the treasury markets, which have been pretty volatile recently. But when it comes to managing all this kind of stuff, it's just micros, mostly in prop programs. So I have the primary levels. I just go and put the order in. Like let's go back up here for a moment. By the way, I love my little transition thing. This transition thing is cool. So up here at 420, man, right? 420. Why don't I take off this huge winner, this $19 winner in 1 ounce of gold? So I'm just going to go over here to sell and here, and I'll just put it up to 420, man. All right, somewhere around there. Let's not be a dick for a tick. Place a sell order. Okay. And if it just pops up there while we're talking or whatever, I'll be out at 420, and maybe I'll be close to my $250 goal for today to see if I can take a real live withdrawal in front of everybody here. Okay, went from a small R today to a G plus day, never more than 1 to 2 micros past my first EV. That's awesome, man. And here's the thing. Okay, maybe it took you a little while, right? I don't know. Did I get out of... just a second. I got some live trades over here too. Oh, good. There was a good exit on gold. So here's a place where the bond market has been hurting me bad. You see these open losses on the ZN and the ZB. So I'm crushing crude oil, crushing the Nasdaq, doing good with gold. With the Dow today, I've been using a little bit of a hedge. I was shorting the pops up into the offer zone, but and gold was good today. But man, this is eating into my P&L up there. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, Jeremy is mentioning that he went from a small R to a big G. By the way, that's a terminology we use for risk-adjusted returns inside my room. All that matters is how well you perform relative to a unit of risk. And what we do is we take a session unit of risk, okay? Do you need to have stops and targets and things associated with each individual trade? Yes. Are there a lot of ways to manage individual trades? Yes. But as I've said before, individual trade management as an active intraday day trader is way, way, way overrated. Everyone is focused on the entry and the trade. All the recaps I see are of trades, okay? Let's recap our day. Let's recap how well we manage risk in the session. So when he's saying small R, that would mean a loss between 0 and what his daily loss limit was. Daily loss limit, that's 1 unit of risk is your daily loss limit. And if you had a G or a G plus day, that means you exceeded the amount of money that you were able to lose during that session by more than what you could lose. So if you had a $300 daily risk budget, you made $380, you had a G day. If you had a $300 daily risk budget and you made $620, now you have a G plus day. You are truly producing risk-adjusted returns. The other final thing I'd like to say about what Jeremy did passing these programs is that now nothing changes. Yes, your mental game might change a teeny bit. Oh my God, now I'm on a demo that I could actually take a payout from, right? Okay. But what you're not doing is changing anything about how you got there. You just do the same thing. You take the same trades. You use the same size. And might it take you a little while to get to that first payout, about the same amount of time? Yes. It might take even a little longer than it took you to pass the eval because you might be a little bit more conservative. Okay? But you're not going to lose it. You're not going to have butthole pucker time. You're not going to have all this emotional capital damage that's done because all you're going to do is go, you know what question I used to get all the time before our community really started rocking is, oh, I just passed these couple accounts. Now what do I do? Now what do I do? Well, sounds like you know that you shouldn't be doing whatever you did to pass those accounts. Okay, I blew over 100 evals until I found micros. Now I have 10 PAs and going nice and steady. There you go, Randall Norris. I love that. So as you can see, for him and for many of you, it's not even about the strategy. Okay? The value that I think I provide inside the trade room, in addition to the fact that I'm an amazing singer, is that we just hold each other accountable to our daily risk budgets and to doing this thing right. Most people are using the mean reversion strategies that I teach, but I don't tell you that you need to pay me to learn a strategy. There's a lot of different strategies out there that work fine. Okay. You need to pay me because I have an expensive drug habit. No, that's not true. You need to pay me because I have people that work for me that need to get paid. That's sort of true. No, you need to invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, do a lot of firms ask you to go live, and how do you deal with that if so? It's on a case-by-case basis with a variety of different firms. So it's on a case-by-case basis. There's some firms that's their whole thing from the very beginning, like a trade desk. For a while, it was trade day, only had live accounts. Perdia has always taken people live pretty quickly. I've said this before. If you are able to have a perfect world of 3 or 4 live accounts with some consolidated balances from a variety of different prop firms, 1 or 2 of your own accounts, maybe just one account if you don't want to have have multiple brokerage relationships. Sort of stitch this all together eventually. But the thing that we've put together in our community with the dojo, which we're rolling out, is a way that you can calibrate where you're at, right? You can't, I know a lot of people feel like they can just leapfrog forward, right? Just jump to the next phase. Follow the guy that says, watch me on my path to another $1 million in payouts from wherever, right? I think the days of being able to just cash flow every 8 days, Bullinox or Apex, or take a withdrawal every day from Take Profit, or every 3 or 4 days from Take Profit, because you can, as soon as you hit the withdrawal threshold or have enough buffer, it'll have the withdrawal button in there, right? And there's plenty of other firms you can do the same thing. I think the days of being able to do that consistently for long periods of time are probably going away, which is fine, which is, again, why we're going to be doing this plus 500 challenge. Or pick any other firm you want. You could do AMP, you could do Ninja Brokerage, you could do Interactive Brokers, whatever you want to do. And you can start with 2,500 or 5,000 or 10,000 or 15,000. I'll show you how to size things appropriately depending on what your account size is. Which time frame do I trade? Well, as you can see on the chart right here, on TradingView, I'm using 5-minute volume charts. But over here on Ninja, I like these, what are called NinjaTraders. These NinjaTraders, and these are just configurable Renkos, because there's a couple reasons I like them. One, I find it easier to sort of manage an intra-trade by running some buy stops and sell stops kind of close to price if I'd like. And then also it puts in these swing periods, which are 13-period swings, which are kind of cool to see visually, right? You really wouldn't see this the same way on a 5-minute that we just hit this high a little while ago, a couple hours ago or an hour ago at 46,679s. I've been trying to get short 706s for like the whole day, and it just has not worked out yet. All right. I don't have a prop account yet. The TDG room has made me much more comfortable trading my smaller personal account. That's awesome too. Regarding personal accounts, do you recommend parsing the account into sub-accounts? I do not, and the whole sub-accounts is kind of a new thing. Like back in the day, in my day, there were some FCMs and IBs that would allow you to have a couple different accounts under the same name as sub-accounts, but it wasn't as easy or it wasn't prevalent. There was not copiers, there was none of that. And you had to explain exactly why you needed another account. And even at the time, there was not really the exchange. I shouldn't say that. I used to sometimes trade or hedge. I would be aware of when I had one trade going in an opposite direction, but that was never in the same series of accounts at any firm. I actually have over 10 accounts at Interactive Brokers, but none of them are sub-accounts. They're all just individual accounts for different reasons. My solo 401k, a couple different trust accounts, some prop firm accounts where I back other traders with my capital, and they have access to those accounts. My own large trading account is at IB. So all that stuff is just in different accounts. So in terms of sub-accounts, I wouldn't mess with it. So, I mean, I just opened, just put 10 grand in Robinhood, and I'm trading their futures product. It's very, very limited, but you can have 4 or 5 different firms and just put a small amount of money in each one instead of, because if you do that, now you actually do have the opportunity, if you wanted to know when you might want to, like there's crazy volatility going on in gold and you got a particular level and you go long and it starts to really tank and you want to hold that long position and you're managing risk okay with that long position, just short it in another broker and then go through the painstaking way of knowing when to unwind it. You guys know what I'm talking about? When you get those kind of positions on, it always feels good for a little while. You've just boxed your loss on your long because you're short. But then the timing to when to unwind it, when to take off the short and then let the long just continue to bleed or hopefully bounce. The perfect scenario is that, you're boxed for a $200 loss, but maybe your original long is now down $1,100, but you made $900 on your short. But when you take off your hedge, now it's butthole pucker time, right? If it doesn't bounce from there. So, all right. Let me see other questions here. So if I set my daily risk budget to $300, how much win days should not blow your account? Dude, if you set your daily risk budget to $300, you can have a camel spit at your chart and pick the direction and the instrument that you're trading as long as it's a micro, and you might survive forever. Now, you might not pass, but you're not going to blow up. Now, unless, of course, you absolutely never hold any winning trade for any period of time. Okay? If you can't hold any winning trade for any period of time, you might eventually hit your DRB enough times that I'm not very good at math, but I think it'd be about 6 to 8 to 10 days, somewhere in there. And that's assuming you never had a winner. So this account up here, it is, once you get your behaviors and your discipline down, it's mathematically impossible for me to ever lose it. It's impossible for me to ever have it draw down 50%. I mean, I just have the discipline to hit the close button. And I also am able to enter at higher probability areas where I should be able to manage risk. And if it quickly goes against me at an area or a level that I'm looking for it to hold or reverse or do something, then I just usually get out. You guys know that guy Nick, whatever. I think his name is Nick. I always fuck it up, but he's a bald guy with a huge beard and he trades Forex. And he makes great content, and people are not understanding how powerful what that guy is talking about. Because he doesn't even he has the simplest support and resistance strategy ever. And he embraces the situational fluency. He doesn't call it that. I call it that. Nick, if you ever watch one of my videos and you want to steal that from me, there's a royalty, but you can use, you are a situationally fluent dude. So what happens is you enter a trade and you just know when to cut it because you just have tons of screen time. And people get on traders who educate like that because, like, well, other people won't know, and you're just, you need to have this stop and this target. And no, you don't. You need to have a methodology for entry, a way that you look at markets, and then develop the spidey sense to go, you know what? I just don't like the look of this. Cut it. Fuck it. And then the next thing is you'll eventually understand when to get bigger in certain trades. Okay? So the first thing is you just have a adverse relationship with losing. Okay? Some of you are on the spectrum where you get frozen. You're like a deer in the headlights, or you get frozen, or you get frustrated, or whatever the case may be. But what I'm going to start to do these videos on is there's no longer excuse for that, anybody. There's no excuse for that. There's a little arrow right here, okay? There's a little arrow right here. Okay, see this little arrow? Well, let me click on it now. There's a little arrow right here. And when you click on that, you can set a loss. And mine is set to $3,500. I have no idea why. Because I didn't set this one up. Okay? So $350. $350. Let me move this over a little bit. So now you can actually be the bozo that a lot of you like to be. You can use your entire DRB as your stop. You don't even have to think about anything. Just push buttons, do whatever you want to do, enter, I don't know, even enter a mini. See how that goes for you. See if you can manage a mini with a $350. But then when it hits it, you're locked out and you're done. And they have this on every platform now. So there's no more excuses. You don't even have to be good at any of this. It used to be that you had to go in and do this thing in Rhythmic, and it was kind of a pain in the ass, or you had to buy something called Guardian Angel if you can't manage to control your emotions or hit. Now just set up a daily loss. And start with just the daily loss. Don't limit yourself on the upside. I know there's going to be days in which I should have just taken my loss and locked myself out. If you want to start to do that, fine. As long as you're handling the risk side, I don't care what you do with the plus side. The issue that most people have is they eat like a bird and shit like an elephant. They can always manage to let a trade go down to their daily risk budget. Similar to if you're playing blackjack, you always know how to double down into a losing. When I say double down, how to add martingale, whatever, into a cold deck into a big losing streak, but you never know how to push a winning streak properly. That's how most people handle trading. So right here, again, there's no excuse. You can do it here on TradeC, right? Right here on TradeC. Risk settings, okay? You can do it on Tradeovate. You can do it inside the Ninja Broker Live thing. You can set it up on plus 500. Speaking of, I'm not at the 250 yet, so we'll see what happens. All right. Keep them coming because what you comment on allows me to know what I'm talking about. Nick Sean. He's like a lot of the other sim. Are you referring to Nick Sean, the guy I referred to? To my knowledge, he doesn't use prop programs, if you're referring to him. I would say the biggest problem people have who watch you, Rod, is when the market trends. Yeah, I mean, I'm Riley makes a good point. I'm just there's nothing else I can do around that topic. So if truly the market trends and you are in a position where you can't yet understand, you just look at one other chart, right? One other chart. Just look at the range trader. They're meant to be used together. What's going on in the market right now? Is it trending? Absolutely not. It's stuck in perfectly in yesterday's range, right? But I get it. So Riley's mentioning, because I hear this all the time. Well, when it trends and mean reversion and this and that. And I've always been told to draw a trend line or use a fib level or find a trend and find trades within the trend. Okay, again, do whatever you want. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Okay, we're going to do it one more time. This is great. What you guys are going to do is whatever platform you're on, okay, you're going to find the risk settings on that platform and you're going to set a DRB of somewhere between 10 and 15% of your total account size. Now, I don't like you to increase that even as your account size increases, but if you want to do that, you can even increase it as your account size increases. So you start with a $2,500 account, you grow it to $5,500. You want to take a $550 daily risk budget? No problem, especially with an end-of-day account, because technically you can eat all the way back into your profits on an end-of-day account if you want. I like static accounts too, where you can be conservative or aggressive at the very beginning, however you want to look at it. And then once you build that buffer, then you're in a static account. It never trails at all. You start with a $2,000 account, you grow it to $6,000 or $7,000, you can lose the $6,000 or $7,000 and the $2,000 at some firms. They'll let you even eat back into the original drawdown. So, anyway, got a lot going on there. Let's see if I'm just going to move this Dow long away from price down to the minus ones so that we're trading the actual strategy here. The market sold off yesterday into the close too, so Could have a repeat again. You've been using this methodology. How many micros should be the max for the MES? Your max position sizing should be whatever you can control according to your risk. And people hate when I filter everything through a risk. So if you're trading the MES, that's $15 a point on a 3-lot, right? You can go from $5 a point to $15 a point. You can go up to $20 a point, and then just do the math. Where's your stops, targets? Where's your risk? Where's your risk at? And as long as you filter everything through there, you could eventually trade 4 or 6 micros in a $2,500 account. Eventually. For me, it's also a wild 3 weeks all green the TDG way. I love it. Risking $300, trending prices just returning to the mean of a different day. That's right, exactly. That's funny. That's true. Is there risk settings on Rhythmic Apex? You can, I think. I only have 2 Rhythmic legacy accounts left on Apex, so I don't know, and I never went in and set it up. If you could do it, it would be an RTrader, but my understanding is some firms disabled that in RTrader because there was a lovely amount of people that figured out how to not only do that, but then remove the risk settings that were inherent in from the prop program. So you might, I don't know if anyone else knows the question about what you can do with a Rhythmic feed. Let me know, but I don't know. You can trade micro Bitcoin at Apex. Yes, you can. You can trade it now at couple different firms. NASDAQ down to the -1s. I'm actually going to get involved here. I think I already have some on. Oh, nope. Let me go down to low of day here. Okay, low of day there. We're approaching VWAP on the Dow. Has anyone short the Dow? Has anyone been short the Dow? The POC up here is 46,571. You went into the offer zone. With the range that we've had, this is anything in here is all a short. You could short anywhere in here with the range that we've had today. If you're going to short there, though, you would have wanted to have the risk budget to take another one up at 46.3. This is one thing that I teach a lot and I try to show, which is don't have your stop at where a natural additional add would be. If you're starting to short in here and you're short from like the 600s, right? And 700 is $50, right, per contract, and you only have a $50 risk per trade, then don't short 600s. Let me go through this again. You're a 1 contract trader and you like to only risk 100 points or $50 per trade. Fine. That's absolutely fine. Okay. As you advance, I would suggest you can have fixed risk, but just make sure you have dynamic targets, right? So if you start to short in here at 600, your target better be 418s, okay, which is 180 points, not the 100 points that you're risking. Does that make sense, everybody? Use a fixed stop, but make sure don't do this risk 100 points to make 100 points. You will never, ever, ever, ever win doing that. It's exactly the same. I'm not talking about counting cards. It's exactly the same as betting the same unit in blackjack or doing anything in gambling where the house has an edge. With slippage and commission and everything else, you will always lose. But if your risk is fixed and your target is dynamic and your target is in the strategies I teach, your target is always going to be more than 1-to-1 from, okay? Sometimes it'll be 2-1 reward to risk. So if you get short here at 660, at 46,600s, you better have an add up here at 731, not your stop right up here. If your stop has to be up here because you're risking 100 points, then you can't enter at 600. Does that make sense, everybody? It's no more complicated than this. And you don't need an indicator or anything on your chart. You can figure that out. I went to California schools and I can figure this out pretty quickly. Okay? Same thing applies to if you did fiddle in the middle. If you want to buy this pullback to VWAP to get long, your first target is going to be the plus ones. That's going to take you from 420 to 578. Okay? 420 to 578, 150 points or so. So take a dynamic stop, a dynamic target, and now you can even create a dynamic stop if you want. Put your stop 75 points below. The reason I don't love that is because, now we're fiddling the middle, and 75 points below here is going to stop you out right before I would want to add and build to this position down to 46 261s. This is how you learn how to trade range. Nasdaq looks like it's going to break the minus ones. Just did. We'll see. All right, so we had our yeah, DJR Ohio is mentioning the idea of using 10% of the account balance as opposed to 1% per trade. The 1% to 2% per trade will never work in a small account. And the prop program screwed everybody by pushing this notional value. So then people are adjusting to the $50,000 value and saying they're going to risk 1 to 2% per trade. That math has never worked in the history of small accounts. Okay. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you treat your entire DRB as your risk per trade, but what you can do is take about half of that. So if you have a $350 daily risk budget, don't let any trade eat into more than $175 of that. And $175 is just a number on the screen that depends on how many contracts you have. That's it. If you have 4 contracts on, you'll get to that $175 a hell of a lot faster than if you have 1 contract on. That's right. Go Bruins. Man, if we had Bilodeau, the problem with that game was we didn't have Bilodeau, and unfortunately Clark and Dent were just due for cooling off. Clark was just so hot. Well, no, Dent was so hot for a couple games leading into the tournament, so they were just due to cool off, which is a bummer. I think I have a short Dow here. Yeah, so I'm short 4 lot here. So let me close one and close another one. All right, so I just closed 2 there right at VWAP, and then the next will be down here. Okay. There we go. All right, if you got any questions for today, we will I'll answer those and we'll be done. After 130 contracts over a month and a half, I have 40% win rate. Oof. Well, I don't know your entry logic, but that's a lot. You should not have. That's a lot. Your win rates should be at 50% or higher if you're doing the stuff I teach. Way higher. We're at 62. I've been at 62 for like 20 years. The formula is 10% about. Go the other thing you can do is just grab the ebook over there. Am I pointing in the right direction? Just grab the ebook. Okay. So it'll be in the description down below. Just grab the ebook. Has all the formula. Tells you to start with the Dow Jones. Gives you everything you need to do prop right. Okay. We're gonna do prop right. Yeah, I would say $50 risk per trade with a $300 DRB is great. Start with that. Just make sure, like I said, you're going to use a fixed stop. Let's make sure your target is dynamic, okay? And with what I teach, your target is always going to be at least one R. It could be more, but it'll always be at least 1 because like on this trade right here, see, I'm short from VWAP. Basically, I was short from higher. Does everyone understand all the theory and logic behind what they're seeing on the screen right here in the Dow? It's dead ass simple. We're going to take one here at at VWAP, and then the next will be at -1, and the next one will be at -2, and then I'm flat. And since this is a live account, I don't have to close these. I'm not going to hold them, so I'll hold this position. Okay. Are these $1,000 drawdown, 25,000 accounts worth it in your opinion using your strategy? Yeah, I think it's worth it. It's a good tool to try. I mean, when you're practicing, let me go up and see if I can close this out and do what I wanted to do here. I don't know if it lets you take $200 out, but again, so up here, I took out $600 just yesterday and $3,600 here before. So this isn't a $1,000 account, it's a $5,000 account. But I could almost do the same thing with a $1,500 account. And it's just from, so when you say worth it, it's just from skill development and things. All right, let's see. I'm going to get flat here. Just going to close this. We did not make much, $12. I'm going to cancel these orders. This thing likes to get squirrely here when I have this. Oh, got to make that smaller. Okay, I'm going to cancel this. All right, let's see if it's going to let me take $225 out. All right. Boom. Now watch this. See how fast that is? This $225 will be in my account tomorrow. So again, I only recommend products that I use, and I can't tell you that Plus 500 has great charting or anything like that, but I can tell you it's the best treasury I've ever seen. And it just credits back to the source I use, which I just use a debit card to make the deposit. So this $225 will be there tomorrow. So you've just created your own prop program with no rules. And then if we go to cash flow, there you go. So I think that what is this? 3642. We're not quite at 5,000, so I haven't got all my money back yet. But we're working on it. All right, 2 more minutes. Some people are mentioning VIX. Look, if it helps or hurts or whatever, but then there was people that watch the trend and all these indicators on the New York Stock Exchange. The VIX is useless for intraday day trading. It's completely useless. Show me how it actually informs any decision. Come on. You guys know what the VIX is? The VIX is just the at-the-money put and call price, right? What are you going to do with that? I mean, if you're trading SPX, I guess. You can use it as an inverse indicator sometimes. Yeah, ATR is where it's at. You have to understand what the range is on whatever time frame you're using. I like to know what the daily range is because I'm going to try to trade the range for that day. But you're still in a better shape if you have a 30-minute, 60-minute, 2-hour ATR and just know what the ATR is on that candle. Hey, what do I think about 1,000 live account over trading 1 micro with $100 DRB? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, look, everyone's situation is different, and obviously everyone's situation is different. If you can stick with that for a while and feel the effects of a live account, and it's helping you, I mean, $100 DRB is pretty tight. It's 200 points in the Dow. Okay, you should probably be able to find that in there. The range right now on the Dow is 1,000 points, so you're working with about 20% ATR. What's going to happen is after we get range expansion, like we just did over that Sunday to Monday, we got huge range expansion. You know, the ATR on the S&P jumped 45 points. It's now 145. and the Dow went from 800-ish, 850s up to 1,000. You're just, if you're conservative, you're going to rest orders at the +2s, -2s, or at prior session high, prior session low. You're just not going to get fills. So you might be bored a lot, and then, I don't know, but nothing wrong with it. That was not a prop firm withdrawal. That was, I'll go back up to it. This is +500 is the firm. And tune in next week. I'm fingers crossed by next week I'll be able to do an official +500 trading week where that's the only platform you'll see. I'll just trade on that platform in the afternoon. Maybe we'll take some trades, maybe we won't. I'll show you all of the trades that were taken during the session. Many of them will be in the trade room here. But here's the last trades I've done. 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of gold, too. So this is not a prop firm. This is it's a live broker called +500. Okay? I would recommend that you not go over there and sign up right now. But if you want, you're welcome to. But by next week, I'm hoping to have some sort of compelling offer, which will either be commissions or a deposit bonus or some other things. I'll also be offering access to my trade room and stuff for people that... if props not your thing, but you want to learn how to grow small accounts properly, that's what we're doing the same thing. This skill is totally transferable. So that's what that broker is there. It's called +500. All right, we're at 1 o'clock. That was it. Didn't get filled on any of these other things. Let me go ahead and cancel all my orders over here.
Order canceled.
So now our orders are canceled. Pip Drunk, I'll have all that information next week. I'll have all the information next week for the +500 in terms of minimum deposits to benefit from the program and more details on why I'm even doing this. I'm doing it because I have a goal so I committed to 10% of my income for the rest of my life, which is a lot of money because I do pretty well. So in Kiva alone, I'm going to try to see if we can do 100,000 to 250,000 per year on their network, and I'd love to do that all with your help. Meaning that all you do is consume my content, use some of the products and services that I use if you end up liking them, and then when they pay me, I'm just going to put it on the Kiva network and provide loans to entrepreneurs. Ideally, I'll be able to do that as a gift card that I give to you guys directly. So far, that's been a little complicated. I'm doing it with anyone who signs up for my promo. So anyway, that's all the things we're going. All right, that'll be it for today. Stay green and trade like you mean it. Again, lots of resources are in the description down below, especially if you're watching this afterwards. It really does help if you can hit the like button, share this content, subscribe. I think I just got to 50,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I know if I actually created other content, we probably grow this a lot faster, so we'll see. But the streams are just easier for me to do. We'll see you at the next one. Stay green, trade like you mean it. Thanks. Be good. Bye-bye.